How significant was Winston Churchill during World War I? Most know about Winston Churchill for his significance in World War II, but are not knowledgeable about his role in World War I. To better understand how he became so significant in World War II, we need to understand his role in World War I. I'll be trying to find out what he did and if these events had any later implications. Churchill was born in 1987 into a wealthy family. His father, Lord Randolph Churchill, was an important British statesman. Churchill hated school when he was growing up, but he loved military college. From 1895 till 1899, Churchill travelled around the world and fought numerous wars for Britain, including the Second Boer War, where he was captured by the Boers but then managed to escape with the help of a fellow captive. This made a good story, and he gained lots of good publicity for his bravery in these wars. Churchill would risk his life for publicity because he had nothing to lose. When Churchill returned, he ran for the Conservative Party in Parliament, but lost. A year later, Churchill wins a seat in the House of Commons. During this time, public perception around the world of Churchill was very positive. He was seen as a brave war hero. Churchill later moved to the Liberal Party because of some disagreements with some conservative policies. His political career was very successful and looked even more promising. His career, however, suffered in 1915 during the First World War, when he was First Lord of the Admiralty, and he showed immense support for the aggressive and unsuccessful Gallipoli campaign. The Gallipoli campaign was a costly failure for the Allies, with an estimated 27,000 French and 115,000 British troops dying. The battle was fought against the Ottoman Empire. The Allies were trying to gain control of the sea route from Europe to Russia. Churchill lost his position as Lord of the Admiralty, and public opinion quickly turned against him. This event showed huge significance in World War I and in Churchill's career, since it would be used against him. Later, Churchill became isolated, opposing Indian independence and supporting many other unpopular policies. By 1939, he had been out of cabinet for 10 years, and his career seemed all but over. Churchill's Gallipoli campaign shows how the people's opinion of someone can change in an instant. Before it, Churchill's career looked promising, but after, many thought it was over. Miraculously, he managed to change public opinion about him once again when he became Prime Minister of England. The Gallipoli campaign was for sure one of the most significant events in World War I and in Churchill's career. It was a devastating defeat for the Allies that could have changed the outcome of the war, and Churchill's career and public opinion about him would never be the same. Churchill's war experience led him to make the choices he did during World War I. World War I was like no conflict before it, so the people thought, who better to lead them through it than someone so bold with so much experience? His boldness ended up killing hundreds of thousands of British soldiers. The Gallipoli failure probably made him more cautious in future war operations in World War II. Churchill was for the institutional monarchy that exists in England today, and he hated full monarchies like the Ottoman and German empires. Later in World War II, he also made it very clear how he hated totalitarian states, Nazi and communist. While he didn't believe democracy is perfect, he thought it's the best we've got. Churchill: democracy is the worst form of government except for all the others. This belief in Britain's system made him very patriotic and loyal to the nation. This was his reason for working so hard and risking his life for Great Britain. Today, Churchill is loved by many and hated by many as well. For example, when I visited the Winston Churchill Museum in England, I was talking about how much of a great man Churchill was with my Indian friend, and he strongly disagreed. I told him that Churchill was a great leader who helped Britain win World War II. He informed me of all the bad things Churchill had done, like the Gallipoli campaign and how he refused to send food and supplies to the starving Indians during the partition. He believed the food and supplies were needed for the army, and around 2 million Indians died. After hearing all of this, I still believe Churchill was a good man, who helped change the world for the better, even if he did make some mistakes. While Churchill is very controversial, I think we can all agree that he was a very significant man. I'll be answering how significant was Winston Churchill during World War I by saying, he was immensely significant in World War I, but the events that took place also shaped the even more significant things he would do in World War II. England and the rest of the world would be very different if Churchill did not do what he did. This video was very fun to make and honestly not that challenging. Since Churchill was more known for his role in World War II, there was a lot of stuff I didn't know, but there were still a lot of sources and finding information was not really a challenge, except for one quote which I wanted to include but I couldn't find. The background research was very easy, but linking the concepts required me to think a bit more. Since I've made videos like this before, the making of the video wasn't really that challenging. In the future, I would like to add some more advanced effects or maybe some animations. While it does take some time to draw the pictures and edit the video, I enjoy doing it. Thanks for watching.